let's have a game of Jenga. I love this game. You go first. You go first. Make a wise choice.
Hey, yes.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see.
Ooh, good one. Good one.
Good
one.
Oh, a little bit of a wobble there, but it's fine. Phew. Oh, yeah. That's it.
I thought it was going to go then.
That's another wise choice.
Right, okay.
Right, decisions. Let's try.
Make a good one.
That one, it looks
Oh, yeah, that's come out dead easy, hasn't
That's
it?
good. Oh, got to have a steady hand, haven't you?
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm going to go for this one. It's sticking out. It's sticking out. I'm going to go for it.
I think, yeah, well, you've got started. You've got to finish. There we go. Whoa.
Oh! That was a wrong choice.
It certainly wasn't very wise. I love this game.
You win. You win.
Do you like playing Jenga? It's a great game where you have to choose carefully which brick you're going to remove without knocking the tower down. Mary definitely made an unwise choice with disastrous consequences. What do you think it means to be wise? Why don't you pause the video and have a chat about this? See what definition you can come up with. What ideas did you come up with? The dictionary says that a wise person is able to make sensible decisions and give good advice because of their experience and knowledge. It goes on to say that their behaviour is sensible and is based on good judgment. I wonder, how many of you consider yourselves to be wise? Put your hand up if you think you're wise. Your teacher will now choose 6 wise people to play our next game. Okay, now you've chosen the players, 8 boxes are going to appear on the screen. In each box, there will be something good or something not so good. Choose your box carefully and then tell your teacher which number box you have chosen. They will write down your choice. Pause the video whilst you do this.
Let's see how you did. Some of you are going to be really pleased, and some of you might be a bit disappointed. Let's reveal what's in the boxes. Box number 1. House points, dojos, team points, whatever you have in your school. Well done. Box number 2. Oh no, litter picking at playtime. Box number 3. Ask your teacher for a job. Box number 4. House points, dojos, great. Box number 5. And again, well done you. Box 6. Oh no, you're going to be the last one going out at playtime. Box number 7. Clearing up your table while everybody else has a rest. Box number 8. Wow, so many house points or dojos. Fantastic. How did the players know which box to choose? Did they really need to be wise to play this game? Well, actually, no, they didn't. They were completely random choices because all the boxes were exactly the same. There was nothing to help them, nothing to give them a clue as to which box to choose. Pure luck was needed in this game. Now, fortunately, in life, there are things that can help us to make good, wise choices. With some situations, we just know what the right choice is, even if we make the wrong one, because we know the difference between what's right and what's wrong, and that can help us to make the right choice. We can use experience to help us. If we've made a choice and then it's not worked out well, then hopefully we'll learn from our mistake and we'll choose something differently next time. We'll do it differently. We won't make the same mistake again. The adults in our lives, our teachers, our parents, and carers. They have experience, and if we listen to them, we can learn from them and gain wisdom from listening. But Christians believe that we can also ask God to help us make wise, good choices, just as a famous king called Solomon did. Solomon had a dream, and in his dream, God asked him a question.
Solomon, I am very pleased with you. So pleased that you can ask me for whatever you would like me to give you.
You have shown me such kindness. I am only young, and I would like wisdom to know how to be a good king. I want to rule my people well. I would like to ask for wisdom.
Since you have asked for wisdom, and not long life, or wealth, or the defeat of your enemies, I will give you wisdom, yes. But I will also give you riches and honour, so that there never will be a king like you ever again.
Who are you, and why have you come to see me?
Oh, my lord, I live in a house with that woman over there, and that baby she's holding, she says it's hers, but it's mine. Oh, king, she's lying. This baby's mine. I know it for sure. No, it's mine. It's definitely mine. It's mine, I tell you. I know I'm the true mother.
Bring me my sword. I shall decide once and for all. I shall chop the baby in half.
Neither you nor I shall have the baby. Go ahead, king, chop it in two. No, oh king, don't chop the baby in half. Give it to her.
Now I know for sure who the real mother is. You may have your baby.
Thank you. How did Solomon know? Well, he knew that the real mother would rather see her baby given away than be chopped in half. Solomon has become known throughout history for his great wisdom, and he was wise because he asked God for wisdom. But what does God's wisdom look like? In his book, in the New Testament part of the Bible, a man called James said that God's wisdom was pure, peaceful, gentle, and friendly. It was full of compassion and led to a harvest of good deeds. In other words, wise choices should keep the peace, should show compassion to others, should not upset others, and should produce good consequences in our lives and in the lives of those around us. That's a good basis on which to build. Now, talking of building, Jesus told a very famous story about God's wisdom being a firm foundation on which to build. You might have heard it.
There was once a man who wanted to build a house for himself and his family. He wanted to find the perfect spot. He looked around, searching high and low, and eventually found himself a patch of rocky ground. It would be perfect. He started to build. It was hard work, very hard work, but he kept going, huffing, panting, groaning, but he kept on digging and digging, building and building until his house was finished. And just in time too, because the sky started to turn black and the rain started to fall. The man went into his house. He shut the door, he closed the windows, and he sat out the storm. The storm blew, but his house stood firm. He was very wise to have chosen such a solid spot.
There was another man who wanted to build his house, but he wanted it quick and he wanted it now. So he set off for the sandy spot where it would be easier to dig. He built fast, and the work was easy. He whistled as he worked. He noticed the other man digging away and thought how clever he'd been to choose the sandy spot. He laughed to himself. Very quickly, his house was built. So he sat in the sun, watching the other guy, sweating, panting and digging. All of a sudden, he felt a raindrop. He ran inside and shut the door. But, oh dear, he could still feel the rain indoors. His house was leaking. Then he could see the sky. The water poured in. His walls fell down. And the house fell flat. A very foolish idea to choose a sandy spot after all.
Therefore, said Jesus, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The foolish man just launched right in, started building with no thinking and certainly no planning. Surely, if he'd stopped to think about it for a minute, he would have realised that sand would not be a good foundation for a house. The consequences for him were disastrous. The wise man, however, planned really carefully, took his time, and although it took a lot longer, the house stood on firm foundations. God says that you and I can make good choices. We can use our knowledge of what's right and what's wrong. We can use our past experiences. We can listen to other people, listen to their wise advice, and we can ask God to help us. In another part of his book in the Bible, James says this, "But if any of you lacks wisdom, you should pray to God, who will give it to you, because God gives generously and graciously to all." Let's do that now. Let's talk to God. If you want to make the prayer your own, then listen to the words I say, and then you can say Amen, which means I agree. Or otherwise, think about the stories that we've heard today in our assembly. God, sometimes we have tricky choices to make, and it's hard to know what to do for the best. Thank you that there are people around us who can help us if we ask them, like our teachers and the grown-ups in our lives. But thank you too that we can ask you to help us and that you will give us the wisdom to make good, right choices. Amen. Right then, let's have another game of Jenga. I'm going to try and beat you this time. I'm going to make some wise choices. Good. You go first, you won.
Okay, right. Well, that looks a bit loose. That's
Ooh,
a good one.
Good one. Wise choice.
It is.
Ooh.
There we go.
I'm going to go.
Yeah.
This one.
Very good. Excellent. Oh, well, it's on a firm foundation, that, isn't it? Oof, wow, that was looking a bit wibbly. Oh, fantastic.
Whoa!